have you seen Steel Magnolias?
Oh my god, yes, I love that movie.
Jonesy, you've seen it, right?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
You've seen Dracula, right?
Oh, I love that movie. It's so good.
Lena, you've seen it. What do you think?
Filmspringa!
Hey, Brynne, have you seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Oh my god, Weekend at Bernie's saved my life.
Jonesy, you have to have seen it.
Oh my god, no, I haven't. Of course not. You've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the best.
That movie scared the out of me when I was a
You
kid.
did scare the out of you? I have not seen that one, and I will be praying for all of your souls.
It's your Rumspringa, Lena.
Haven't seen it.
It's showtime!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Filmspringa, the podcast about all of your favorite films and your sheltered friend who's never seen them. I'm one of your hosts, Tony, and I'm here with...
Brynne, another one of your hosts.
Yes, and our sheltered friend.
Hi guys, I'm Jonsey.
Jones. So it is New Year's Eve. First off, we're actually recording this on a New Year's Eve.
Because what the hell else are we gonna do?
Cheers, Happy New
No
Year.
one's going out anywhere, so
I
we're going
know.
out with each other and you.
And
Really
you. And because we're ending 2020, this movie kind of feels fitting, the one we're going to review today. It is the 1994 black comedy crime film Serial Mom, directed by John Waters, legendary, iconic John Waters. Yes, that is the film we are going to talk about for the next hour. I'm excited. Oh, this film.
This film it took me back to a time and place in my life.
Yeah.
And then I looked in the mirror for a long time and I looked at the crow's feet and I thought, what has become of you?
I was like, 94. I was a junior in high school.
Yeah,
when this
real
came out.
emotional journey for me.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'm old. Damn, I'm old. But before we get into the film, should we watch the trailer and
Yes,
get
please.
everybody in the mood for some Serial Mom? Let's do it.
Always.
Hopefully this isn't a really long trailer like the last one we did.
Life doesn't have
That's on
to be
how
You
long.
don't know. You didn't test it out.
Listen to their call. Oui. Oui.
This is the story of Beverly Sutphin,
Scrambled eggs, anybody?
a devoted mother,
I'm so happy I could chip.
You know how I hate the brown word.
a loving wife,
You think the kids are awake?
We could be very quiet.
I'm ready. Honey, you're hot tonight.
and a suspected murderer.
Oh, kids, are you doing your homework?
How did America's #1 mom turn into one of America's most wanted? Is she really guilty?
Are you a serial killer?
Chip, the only cereal I know anything about is Rice Krispies.
Is she the only one with a motive?
Believe that damn litter bugger.
Give her a happy face.
Or is there someone else
I'm stood up. I'll kill that jerk.
with an axe to grind?
You'll never get a boyfriend.
Meanwhile, this small Baltimore suburb keeps getting smaller and smaller.
It's been a crazy day, hasn't it?
Savoy Pictures asks the burning question,
Is your wife mental?
is Beverly Sutphin just a sweet suburban housewife?
I don't know what it is about today, but I feel great. Cookie?
Or is she Serial Mom?
Cool. Is she in a band?
Kathleen Turner, Sam Waterston, and Ricky Lake. Serial Mom. Every woman wants to be wanted. Just not for Murder One.
Beverly, I've read all about this. Is it menopause?
Bad of the ball.
Yeah, Serial Mom. I was like, boop, it's done. Okay, for everybody who is watching and listens to this, me personally, I'm a huge John Waters fan. I always have been ever since probably my freshman year in high school when I discovered him. And when me and producer
What
Rob...
did you discover him on? Sorry to interrupt real quick. I want
What?
to know.
The
What
first
did you
movie,
discover him on?
I discovered him from a friend in high school. Was like, you don't know who John Waters is? Here, I'm going to give you these 3 movies, and it was the first one was Desperate Living, then it was Pink Flamingo and Female Trouble. Were my first introductions to John Waters, and I was like hooked 100%. But Serial Mom is one of his later films, and it's his, if I remember right, the biggest budget he had. It was 13 million to make the film. And it became a cult classic. It didn't do well box office. It bombed.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So Brynne, give us a quick rundown of the plot of Serial Mom.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I thought that the best way to introduce it would be that it's Beaver Cleaver's mom, emphasis on the cleaver. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Kim with jokes.
Yeah.
Look at Kim with jokes.
So it is about your normal suburban mom. Yeah, picture June Cleaver. Very high standards, like all around perfect, pastels, lovely house, doctor, dentist husband, 2 kids, with like a little bit of a John Waters twist, which is that when this housewife and this stay-at-home mom gets upset, she will brutally murder people. And I feel like that speaks to a lot of people on a lot of different levels. So the film basically follows her in what is, in serial killer terms, we would call her berserker mode. So for serial killers ramp up and then they kill a little bit at a time. And then there's a period where they go berserk. It's called the berserker mode. So we've caught her at the apex of her just letting it loose. She cannot help herself. So she is killing people left and right. Her family's trying to support her. It's in this small town. The cops are trying to figure it out. And then we culminate in this big, wonderful trial that is just hilarious and amazing. And there's so many good people in it.
I know.
Kathleen Turner is a fucking revelation in this movie.
She's so good.
So amazing.
So freaking good.
Yeah, and that's basically the plot of the movie.
Yeah, and for people who are John Waters fans, most of the cast are from his previous films. Like Tracy Lords makes an appearance in it. Ming Stoll, of course, she's in every movie that I think he's done. Sam Waterston, which I was surprised, I forgot he was in this.
So random.
And it's Matthew Lillard's first film he's ever done.
I know.
Matthew Lillard from Scream fame, and Ricky Lake. Hello, Ricky Lake's in it. Patty Hearst makes an appearance. Don't wear white after Labor Day, lady.
Suzanne Summers.
I mean, there's so many good people in it, especially if you're a fan of the John Waters universe.
Yeah, every time you turn around, you're like, oh, that person's in this. That person's in this. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
And it's based on a true story, right?
No.
That is a lie.
That is a lie.
That's not what the movie said.
No, the movie's a satire towards, at the period it came out, everybody, it was like when Unsolved Mysteries, American... What is it? America's Most Wanted was out. So like Sunday night, you would go home and you'd watch this horrible things happening to other people in America, but not your family.
And Rescue 911.
Rescue 911 and cops and all of those. So
for some reason, wasn't allowed to watch a lot, was allowed to watch Rescue 911 and Unsolved Mysteries nightly,
I'm not surprised.
Weekly, whatever.
I just wanted you to know that horrible things really do happen to people in this world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sinners.
It's not the make-believe world.
You know, this is what you gotta say. Stay under the umbrella of Jesus.
Of Jesus. So in this film, when John Waters is getting ready to do this film, he asked a bunch of A-list celebrities to play the lead Beverly. I know Meryl Streep was on the list. There was a bunch of other ones, but Glenn Close,
Julie Andrews.
Yeah, Julie Andrews was going to be
any of those movies.
Julie Andrews was actually originally to play the nosy neighbor, the redhead. Originally, that's who he wanted. But a lot of the big name actresses, they either wanted him to rewrite the script or do a full table read with the full cast before they would sign. And John Waters was like, fuck no. And then he gave the script to Kathleen Turner because he was a really big fan of hers. And she said, yeah, absolutely. Without any of those, she just was like signed on. And the reason why she said yes is because she knew of John Waters ahead of time. And she said in an interview that he's one of the directors that is famous worldwide people know his films because he is not part of the Hollywood machine. He is outside of the Hollywood machine. And for her, that's what attracted her to the project and was like, I want to work with him. And so she said yes, like when he asked her and stuff.
And she did great. So
she was great.
fucking yeah.
She ate this part up.
Yeah.
In the beginning when she's making the prank calls to Dottie.
Pussy Willow.
Oh my God.
And then she pretends to be the lady from the phone company. And she gets her to say pussy, and she goes, "Look at your mouth, you filthy whore."
Look at your mouth, you filthy whore.
So much fun.
I know. Actually,
really
I think
did,
we have
relish this role.
I think we have a clip of that because it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Do you want to play it? Let's play it.
YouTube's gonna mark us for this.
I know they're gonna be like, out.
Nope.
Hello?
Is this the cocksucker residence?
God damn you, stop calling here.
Isn't this 4215 Pussy Way?
You bitch!
Now let me check the zip code. 212, fuck you.
Beverly, darling, you home? The police are tracing this call this very minute.
Well, Dottie Hinkle, then why aren't they here, huh, fuckface?
Fuck you! Beverly, you home?
I know you are.
Beverly? Didn't I just say fuck you?
I beg your pardon.
Who is this?
Mrs. Wilson from the telephone company. I understand you're having problems with an obscene phone caller.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson, but this is driving me crazy. I've had my number changed twice already. I'm a divorced woman. Please help me.
Beverly? Well, what exactly does this sick individual say to you?
I can't say the words out loud. I don't use bad language.
Oh, well, I know it's difficult, but we need to know the exact words.
I'll try. Cocksucker, that's what she calls me.
Listen to you, filthy mouth, you fucking whore!
God damn you!
It makes me laugh. That scene in the courtroom scene when she's like, I think it's so good. It's so good. So, Brynne, when was the first time you ever watched this film? I'm really curious about this. And what did you think of the film when you first watched it and then watching it again now?
So, shocking no one, I saw this film when I was like probably 12.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
Is that when this film came out? Because I'm not trying to like call you out on your age, but I feel like it might have been.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I just had a birthday and you're taking advantage of that.
Yeah, she is.
I didn't mean.
No, so we didn't like see it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I remember specifically going to Blockbuster. We used to go to Blockbuster every Friday and it was always someone's turn to pick. And we all wanted to see Serial Mom because we all thought it was like really funny. And my mom loves Kathleen Turner. So we watched this as a family on a Friday night eating pizza.
I am not surprised. That explains so much about Brynne.
And we thought it was hilarious. We loved this movie. We rented it like over and over again. We watched it like twice that night.
Yeah.
And I just remember loving the dichotomy of it. I wouldn't use that word when I was 12, but just like how clean and like nice and sweet she was and watching the birds. And then I also at a young age had an unhealthy, I wouldn't say obsession, but curiosity for serial killers. So like when she has like the letter under her bed from Richard Speck with like, the body building picture, I was like, I know who Richard Speck is.
Yeah.
And like Ted Bundy, and she's like reading that. And I was like, oh, I'm like her, but like not a murderer. And then I was like, John Waters just making these relatable characters. And I just thought it was like so funny and fun. I think so much of the sexual stuff went over my head.
Oh, probably at 12, it better have been over your head.
And like all the cussing and stuff, like that's not what I remember. I do remember the horniness
What horny level was it for you?
Wait, we need theme music for Brynne horny
We
level.
will. What horny level? What horny level,
So
Brynne?
I remember it being like watching it like this film is horny, even at 12. Like I knew. And then when I
Also,
rewatched
12
it,
is a good age to be like, things are horny, things are not.
things are not horny.
That's when
And-
you start discovering horny.
Yeah, exactly.
Around that.
Yeah.
age. There you go.
And then rewatching it,
Yeah.
because I do remember him jerking off to the giant boobed lady.
Oh, which is the
Yeah.
movie he watched. What was it? Chester
It's like
Morgans.
Chesty Annie or-
Chesty Morgans was the actress, and it was Deadly Weapons. Is the movie film, right? Deadly
Yes.
Weapons. Yeah. I
And
think
I'm
that's what it's called.
assuming this was a real film because
It looked like a real film.
Yeah, I think it,
It
might have
looked-
been.
It was a real film that he was watching. Yeah.
So like now rewatching it as an adult, the horniness level matches my
With what you-
expectations.
okay,
And it's
good.
what I like.
Yeah.
It's like
you like
know,
that in your
a
films.
John Waters film, horny in the right ways. Like that scene where she's wearing the white cotton panties and she's flashing the pervert.
Oh yeah, under the desk. Under the the
That is
desk.
seared in my mind. I remember that. And so when it came back on, I was just smiling to myself. I was like, I remember this because like who does that turn on? It's like weird white cotton panties, but there's someone for everyone.
Right?
And also the scene I always remember the scene where she uses the poker and she takes out that like chunk
Yeah.
of like his liver or kidney or
it
whatever.
is, yeah.
And then she like wiggles it out and she's like, "Bleh," and she just like throws it. And then when she like basically gives him a, what's it called when you flush someone's head in the toilet? A swirly.
A swirly,
Yes,
is that what it is?
swirly.
A swirly? Okay.
That always really stuck with me. We thought that was so funny when she's just like, yuck. And it's like a weird piece of like, obviously like a piece of liver. It looked like maybe like
something, yeah.
jelly cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, this movie is so fun and funny.
Oh wow.
Like,
Have you watched a lot of John Waters films?
Yes.
What was the
So-
first John Waters film you remember watching that you were
The first
introduced
John
to?
Waters one
his
that I
universe?
remember watching and connecting with is Crybaby.
See, Crybaby's one of my favorites. I love Crybaby. Yeah.
And I had like a huge crush on Tracy Lords and then like learned all about her and got really into like her biography. There's a great podcast about her right now. No,
Yep.
it's not great. It's bad.
It's
but,
bad.
they
She's
kept, like-
fascinating. She is fascinating.
She's fascinating, but the
Yeah.
way that they guise it is like very anti Tracy Lords, and I don't like that. But I had like a huge crush on her, and I were like going into like all that stuff with Crybaby. So
Yeah.
that's what really brought me into the John Waters world. And I think Serial Mom is like sort of akin to that because it's in sort of a suburban setting. And
The
that's
same
what
type
Crybaby
of,
is too.
I guess, world you can say.
Yes,
Kind
exactly.
of within the John Waters universe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you first see this, Tony?
I saw this well, it came out when I was a junior in high school, but I don't think I saw it till I was like maybe 19 or 20. It was later on, I remember. And I remember wanting to see it really bad because I loved Kathleen Turner because growing up she was in Jewel of the Nile and Romancing the Stone, which were two of my mom's favorite films. So I remember growing up with those films, and I thought her voice was always amazing, like the husky and the rasp of it. And so I had been a fan of hers before. So when she was in a John Waters film, I was like, oh my God, I gotta make sure I watch this. But I remember when I first saw it, I liked it because it's just you take this perfect picture of a housewife who's just insane. You know what I mean? And just the daughter and the son and the husband are just like, well, what are we gonna do? I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly.
I really love that part.
And
I love when the husband's like, so we'll get her help.
Yeah. But I like just like how there's just so many random weird things in the film. Like the woman who doesn't rewind the tape of Annie and she gets killed with a lamb leg or
That
a lamb.
was the most expensive part of the film.
Yeah.
Was getting the music for Annie.
$60,000 for the rights. And the reason they cost so much is because the people who own the royalties for Annie, they knew the back films of John Waters and were like, oh no, these are all nasty and wrong. And so they charged him like way more than what they usually would. But when I first saw it, I really liked it. I love that there was so many people that from John Waters films were in this one making cameos, or they were actual characters like Ricky Lake, because I loved her in Hairspray and all of that. So it was really, really cool. And it was cool seeing him do like a bigger budget film when this came out. But like, I just remember the story was completely ridiculous. Like, I'm like, this doesn't happen. Yeah. But you expect that from a John Waters film when you go into it.
She's like the worst serial killer ever.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I'm going to get caught. The one thing I do remember I love about this film is Al 7, because I was religious about Al 7. Shitless is one of my favorite songs. And so they play
Camel Lips.
That's what I was going to say. Camel Lips is the band in the movie but the actual band in real life is L7, and I love them, and I've always loved them since high school. But in that scene of when Camel Lips is performing, you know the girl that does this is Hatchet Face from Crybaby, who dives into the audience and audiencers or whatever. It's Hatchet Face from Crybaby. I love that.
Hatchet Face, who I love.
I know, she's my favorite part of Crybaby. But watching it again, I've watched Serial Mom many, many times over the years. So watching it again, I was like, oh, I know this film. I know it. But it's just, the subject matter is like, if you think about it, she's killing a bunch of people, but it's still so enjoyable. And I think that what's the charm of it is John Waters took somebody who you would normally not like this character because they are a serial killer and made them likable.
She's so likable.
Right?
And like, she's friends with the trash guys.
I know.
She's sorting out her recycling. And she's only really killing them because she really believes that they should die.
Yeah.
I also agree with the villainization of anti-recyclers.
To that degree, Lena?
To that degree of killing them?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that as a yes.
Anti-recycler. She set her up for murder.
Okay.
Murder.
All right.
And I like that she represents herself in the trial scene, which is like ridiculous, but it's so good.
I've got so much to say.
We're gonna get to it. But did you know the scene at the beginning with the fly? That was a fake fly that they killed because they weren't allowed to have a real fly be killed on set.
That's insane.
Isn't that weird? But there's
killed a real fly out of spite. Because ASPCA refused
out
to
allow them. To who, Lena?
I know.
ASP, whatever he said.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow an actual fly be killed on the opening scene.
Okay, if they're fighting for that, like, fuck those guys. Save the pandas. Kill the flies.
Oh God.
Okay. You're taking a stance.
Yeah.
I am.
I don't know if that's what the podcast is unified in that message.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, guys. You can find Jonsey shirts that say "Save the pandas, kill the flies."
Kill the flies.
All right.
You want to kill Jeff Goldberg?
Jeff Goldblum? No.
I have never seen that movie, so I know not what you speak of.
Of course you have.
Of course,
add it to the list.
Add it to the list. And you know, Miss Jensen, the scene where she's singing Annie and the dog licks her feet. Did you know they put butter on her feet so the dog would lick it?
So gross.
Oh, you know what? You know what part of the movie? Even when I originally watched it, and then watching it every single time, that always gets under my skin is when the guy, the couple, they're eating the chicken. And
it's so
the way they did it with the sound and everything it's so annoying. I'm like, kill him just for that.
And then they're eating the birds.
Yeah.
And they're thinking of it. Yeah.
Oof.
It's so visceral.
So like, John Waters used a lot of that sound stuff because it was the same thing during the trial when the daughter Misty and whatever guy are making out, and all you hear is like
yeah, exactly. And then Ricky Lake in the film. I love Ricky Lake.
Oh, Ricky Lake.
I know.
She ends up happy.
Huh? She ends up happy, yeah.
Yeah. Which I loved.
I know. I did too.
The kids actually do end up happy.
They do. They're like, okay, except for Scotty. He's ended up burning on stage of an L7.
That wasn't her kid.
I know, but I'm just saying one of the kids in the show. Yeah, her kids are fine. Should we do what is it? Should we do now? Should we do name drop? Figure that out?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I'm nervous about this one.
Dolly Parton,
Rachel Maddow. I spend an hour with her every single day.
I once played a drinking game with
Celine Dion, Liza Minnelli. Cher, Laura Dern. I don't know her.
Who would you say is the most famous person in your phone?
my good friend Ben Affleck and his crippling addiction to back tattoos.
I have the best Lady Gaga story of all time.
Hate him, loathe her, over them, cancel it, tell me everything.
Yes. So Name Drop is our version of 6 Degrees. So this time we picked Kathleen Turner from Serial Mom. And then from next week's film, we're going to pick Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So homework to the end of the episode is trying to figure out how to pair those two actors together. This one's going to be challenging. But Brynne, you always knock it out.
Dated back in the day.
Maybe. No, they wouldn't have. Maybe.
I feel like it would have been an angry relationship, but they could have dated.
Maybe. Did you know when Kathleen Turner, I want to say she was in her late 40s, she did the production of The Graduate in London that ended up going to Broadway, where she was fully nude on stage.
Yes. It did.
Yeah. And she was it got rave reviews. Yeah.
Good for
I know. I was like, good for you. You do that. But she's done so much theater and like her book too. Her biography is so fascinating too. She goes through all of the Hollywood stuff and just her view on acting. And she was teaching classes at NYU on acting too.
Good for her.
So yeah. So Jonsey, this is the first time you've ever watched Serial Mom. First question, are you familiar with any John Waters films? There has to be a few that you've seen.
I've seen Hairspray.
Yes.
Tony forced me to watch Crybaby.
Yeah.
So I've seen that one.
That movie is amazing.
No. When I say forced, this was back in the time when I was basically staying with Tony for a couple of weeks. And there were a few times where he went, "You're watching this? You've never heard of this? Sit down."
Sitting down and we're watching this.
Force.
Yeah. So what did you think of Serial Mom? This is your first time ever watching it. Did you know anything about the film going in besides it being a John Waters film?
I just figured out the name drop, but I'll wait till the end.
Okay, let's wait till the end. Yeah. Go ahead, Jonsey.
Shocking.
I know, I'm not surprised.
I knew John Waters was kind of a weirdo.
Okay.
And yeah, that's basically all I knew going into this movie was that John Waters is a weirdo. So this is going to be a weird trip.
You know, one man's weirdo is another man's icon.
I was going to say
Let me say, when I say weirdo, I am a weirdo. I married a weirdo. My best friends, these guys who are on the show, are weirdos. I have nothing against weirdos. I think weirdos are the people who are going to save the world because they embrace being a weirdo. So yeah, nothing. I don't mean, there's never anything negative when I say weirdo.
Yes.
Okay. The weirdo community, please don't come after us.
Yeah, send your hate mail too. No, I'm kidding. Okay, back to the film. So what did you think about this the first time? This is your first time watching it. What was your initial reaction to it?
So first of all, I didn't know until the podcast started that this wasn't based on a real story because
you believe
I believe them when they told me their lies.
Who hasn't watched it? There is a card in the beginning, like the opening has, you know, a text scroll that says this is based on a true story and that it's based on interviews done and all of that stuff. So Lena's not, this isn't coming out of nowhere if you haven't seen the film.
Well, and also they keep like regularly time stamping different parts.
Yeah.
And the trial. And so, and then there's like, you know, at the end, there's even a like Beverly, whatever her last name, did not participate or whatever in the making of this film. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, and also one of the things they said was like, the names of the innocent were changed. So I totally bought into it until we
destroyed that for you.
Zoom meeting today.
That's such a John Waters thing, though.
Yeah, it is. He likes to set it up that way. So go ahead. What else about the film did you like or dislike?
Because here's the thing. Because I thought it was real. That's why I introduced it with that first. Because I thought it was real. I fully was buying into it. Like, have you guys heard of Betty Bowers, the like I think that's her name.
Betty Broderick.
Betty
Broderick,
yes.
who is from La Jolla. And
Yes,
that all
she killed her
happened here in
husband.
La Jolla. And said,
And she was basically your kind of like, she was your rich version of June Cleaver kind of thing. And then, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
If you watched the story, the made for TV miniseries, all that kind of stuff, then you know. But no, I totally thought this was that. Basically.
Oh, you thought it was based off of that?
No, I didn't think it was based off of her specifically. I thought this was another woman in Maryland that I didn't know of, that this was all
similar story.
Yeah.
Correct. And so I very much watched this movie going, yep, this is John Waters, weirdo, love weirdos again, making something that was totally like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Even weirder kind of movie. So that was my experience of basically going, this is all real. This is just basically John Waters telling of this weird, real story, which I kind of was like, it's like the Betty Broderick story, similar.
Yeah.
So it was, I believed that this could be real because
So how did that change make your viewpoint of the movie, going into it thinking this is real, and then now thinking back, oh, this wasn't real, it's a satire? So how did you think of it viewing it?
I'm still in shock that it's not real. So I
can't believe you would think it was real.
Like,
you and Brynne are like, wait a minute.
If I had thought this was real, I would have been, this is so disrespectful to these people and their families. I would have been like, no way.
I know. And Jonsey's like, oh my God, I am buying the documentary based off of it.
Where can I get the book?
Right.
I think the Betty Broderick story is kind of disrespectful to all of her family.
What did you think?
I was there going,
what did you think of Kathleen Turner in the film?
Loved it. Loved her. She did phenomenal. I totally bought it. That is also part of why I thought this could have been real, was I saw her kind of playing a real woman, John Waters camp.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
So like, that was why I totally was buying into that. Like, no, this is based on a true story. Like,
do you think
yes, it's over the top, but that's because it's John Waters.
Do you think going into the film, knowing it was a John Waters film, and you see Kathleen Turner, a big movie star, going, oh, okay, so this must be real because she's a real, legit actress playing this
She wouldn't be doing, She's like Suzanne Summers.
Yes. Like, also, I said what the detective said, like, that's really Suzanne Summers.
Right? Yeah.
So, hey, Lena, what do you think Mama and Papa Jonsey would think
of this film?
About this film?
I think they would totally be on board at the beginning when she's like, you know how I feel about the brown word. And when she's like, we don't say hate in this family. All of that, I was like, my mom and dad would be like, real parenting. And then all the rest followed. I feel like if they had made a PG-13 version and John Waters was less kind of like push the boundary, I think actually my parents would have liked it.
Really?
Because for some reason, like true crime, all that like murderous stuff was accepted.
Okay.
In our household.
Are you
okay, that's weird.
Are they into capital punishment?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you know the one of the most expensive parts of the film was filming in the church because of the licensing or getting the permits to film there? It was the most expensive was to film in the church.
Not shocking.
Really?
And also not shocking that the preacher, whatever he is, sermon is all about capital punishment. I was like, I have literally sat in those sermons and I wonder if there was a murderer that every adult in the room knew was like,
just go out and do it. What are we waiting for?
Know?
I know, right? But this film, it's like, in a way, it's like classic John Waters, but a little more for mainstream America, let's just say.
I also didn't didn't know this was a comedy when I started it.
How did you not know this was a comedy? Jesus Christ.
But it was a John Waters documentary drama.
No,
she thought it was a period piece.
Okay, I have 2 films of John Waters to speak of.
Crybaby.
Yes.
And
which is not a comedy, I would say. Is it?
It's a comedy. Oh my God. Yes, it is a total comedy.
Did you not get that?
How did you not watch Crybaby and go, wow, this is deep. This is
you thought
real.
when she drank
How did you watch that
was
and
like
go,
a metaphor?
Jesus, oh my
I
God.
just thought
Jonsey.
it was a weird movie.
You thought it was a Wait for Godot type of situation?
Waiting for Godot. She's like, is this an Ivory Merchant film? Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Here's the thing. The Crybaby didn't have me laughing because Tony was basically going.
I know. It's like, I was looking at her going, laugh because it's funny.
Laugh.
It's funny.
It's very important for me that you like this film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
The film. I just didn't know it was a comedy.
I have a question for you, Brynne. Do you think the film is a little more relatable now because of this huge trend with
100%.
people fascinated with serial killers, true crime podcasts, TV shows? All of it is like really, really big right now. So
yeah.
Do you?
And
I
her
do too.
reading the serial killer books, and all of that, like in her sort of like having humanity for them and sympathy for them, and then the whole and this obviously is like such a farce, like with like them becoming famous and getting agents and you know doing, but like now there's like an entire industry that is like just people just talking about murders all the time. Have you seen that meme that's like, if I ever get murdered, I would like 2 white women to solve my death in their free time?
Because of
and it's like, it's true. Like it's
true.
There's a huge industry. And so I think now it has gained sort of like a cult fame, like all of John Waters movies do.
Yes,
but I think it's especially like now watching it, you're like, yes. And she would get famous. And Suzanne Summers, who looks fabulous in this movie.
So
Holy
good.
moly. I did not ever know Suzanne Summers was that beautiful. Would want to play her, and people would be at the trial, and people would be like freaking out. And there would be podcasts about her.
This came out pre O.J. Simpson, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is
because
crazy.
then that happened. You know what I mean? So what, Jonsey? You're putting your hand up. What?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, so I'm doing all the like grammar school things.
What's that? What?
Listening on the podcast, going, please pick on me, teacher. That's exactly why I thought this movie was real.
Because of O.J. Simpson trial.
I mean, I didn't think the movie was real, but that's why I thought it was based on it, because I am one of those true crime
junkies.
Yes. And so I very much was like, yes, all of this makes sense. I think it was just a precursor to its time. And then like, you know, it all happened, and because it wasn't social media and all that kind of stuff where it could go viral, it just went under the radar. So that's why I was totally like, this is based on a true story.
Right? So what is your favorite murder through the whole film? Like, because she kills people in the most randomest ways. What's your favorite one that she does in the film?
I've got mine.
Go ahead, Lena. We'll start with you.
So the Annie murder, because she's totally prepared with the knife.
Yes.
And then you've got the son's friend watching on the rooftop, and the daughter or the son's girlfriend. And so like, it looks like it's all like, oh no, but she went and got the fucking meat.
I know, the big lamb leg. Well, I like my thought.
Going, what?
My thought was she looked at the knife and said, "Oh shoot, murder weapon! If I use the lamb leg, the dog will eat the murder weapon." Which they found to at the end.
It was like, oh, this knife is too easy. Yeah, I need a bigger
I didn't think about that.
To murder.
This will be
like,
more fun.
I need another weapon, because a knife overplayed.
Ted Bundy has this like quote, and I'm gonna mangle it, but he's like, the first time you murder someone, it's like you're all ready, everything's in its place. You know, the 50th murder, you forget where the lug wrench is.
So you grab whatever you want.
It was very much that chaotic vibe where she was like, let's have fun.
Let's be
improv
creative
this
with our murder.
Like, get it out. She's in the middle of berserker mode.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of murder in the film?
I have to say when Carl dies, because I felt like he deserved it.
Carl gets stabbed in the bathroom with
and the poker, and I love that part of like his kidney or his liver comes out, and it's just like.
I love Tracy Lawrence overacting when she finds out he's dead.
Oh my god,
it's so good.
They're holding her back, and then she looks at the lieutenant, and she's like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, that one. I like her in the closet, and she's like ninja style throwing the knife at the guy. It's so good.
The worst, most ill-planned murder.
Oh, I know. I know.
Which one? The closet one?
The closet, when she's in the closet and she pops out and kills a couple that annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yes. Except I also loved how somehow she got the mice on board.
Oh, I know. To bite her. I know. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Like
now
a weird coincidence.
I'm like, now she's Snow White. She's talking to animals.
No, see, in my head, I was making all of this make sense for it being real. I was like, yeah, like
she would have had the mice.
And they didn't know they had an infestation problem, so she killed them, and then the mice like ate at the body. Like, I totally had everything.
The police report in the autopsy that she had rat bites, so they had to put it into the movie.
Yeah.
I love, Jonsey, that you watch this film trying to logistically think how this was real. Making logically
110%.
going, this is how they would have done it, because
generally
in
a movie, when you watch a movie, you have to suspend disbelief.
Not me.
Opposite direction.
Complete opposite.
You believe the shit out of it.
Not me. God. This John Waters film, literally, how long has this podcast going? 35 minutes until 40 minutes ago. I thought it was all real.
Wow.
You guys, at the beginning of this podcast, she's like, so this is crazy. It really happened? What?
And we're
really
like,
happened?
No. And then it was just silence and shock.
It is just on the floor.
It's all of that. And I love like keeping true to John Waters' film. This was filmed in Baltimore, and the video store was the actual video store in his neighborhood he grew up in, and they filmed it.
And that looked like not a set creation. That looked like something location had found at, because I was like, that's too real for a video store in the 90s.
Yeah. And I love how they throw Death Becomes Her in the background. I'm like, so good.
Well, and the high school that they shot at is Divine's high school.
Yeah, Divine, the late great Divine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of like little John Waters Easter eggs in there.
Oh, throughout. And one of the most iconic scenes is don't wear white shoes after Labor Day. And that's the whole reason why Patty
has changed.
I know, fashion's changed. She's such a bad actress, but I love her.
Patty Hearst is
worst, but she's so good.
Is that the real Patty Hearst?
Yes.
Like Patty Hearst, Patty Hearst?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, it was all real.
See how now she's tying the strings together. She's
it's
like,
the Patty Hearst story.
It is.
Remember in Schitt's Creek how Moira does a one-man Patty Hearst?
Yeah. Oh, should we get to pairing what we would pair this movie with? Oh, what is our Grace? Give me a stinger, right?
Monsieur. Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily. Shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
It's drink. I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
Grace, give me a stinger.
Yeah, so this is part of the show where we are going to pick a cocktail and a little nibblies to pair with this film. So, Brynne, what would you pair with this film?
I am going to pair a whole rotisserie chicken.
Oh, because of that scene.
That you buy at like Vaughn's or Ralph's at the grocery store and just use your hands.
Okay.
And just like a shitty beer in a weird glass.
Why a shitty beer in a weird glass?
Because that's what the ladies were.
Oh, when
she broke the egg.
Oh, that's
So
right. They were drinking beer.
One beer with lunch hardly counts. And I thought, yeah, you're right, girl.
I would definitely do lamb, and I love that she had mint sauce on her sandwich when she was before she got murdered in that scene. And then I would do like a mint julep, something very proper white lady would would drink for
highball.
For Bev. Yeah, highball or something like that. That's what I would pair it with. What about you, Jonsey?
So I think even though I hate it, I would have to go meatloaf.
Yeah.
Oh, the meatloaf scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Meatloaf.
And then for drink, what would you pair for a cocktail?
I want to copy you and say like something mint julep-y.
Yeah.
You know, like it has to be something like one of those, Beverly Cleaver,
Type
June
of
Cleaver, that kind of like at home ladies who lunch, that kind of, I just don't know enough about that world to say.
When I worked at Roost Chris,
Uh-huh.
we were only open for lunch on Fridays, and we had 3 women in their probably like mid 70s. They would come in every Friday for lunch, and they would all wear Chanel suits, and you could tell they were super rich.
Yeah.
And they would get 1 salad to share, and then they would each drink like 5 highballs.
That sounds amazing. That's like the
Ice cold
perfect
cups.
diet.
We knew they were coming in, so we had to put the martini glasses in the freezer. Crisp cups and 1 Caesar salad.
So, Brynne, I have a question for you. Since this is our first John Waters film on this podcast, if we're going to be exposing Jonsey to additional John Waters film, what would your pick be to show Jonsey minus Crybaby?
Okay, so we can't do Crybaby.
Yeah.
I'd probably do Pink Flamingos.
It's legendary.
So good.
Yeah, I think
Producer
I
Rob,
would.
what was that face? Producer Rob made a face.
He made a face because when producer Rob and I were first dating, I made him watch Pink Flamingos, and he was like, "I'm surprised he stayed." Like, I was like, seriously. So I think my pick would be Female Trouble. I love Female Trouble,
is good.
especially the scene where, and I wanted to do this for a Halloween costume, when Divine and the 2 other girls are dressed as cat burglars, and they're in all black, and they just have the veils over their head and the big beehives.
Yes.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, that would be my pick. So we should put those on the list to revisit later on. But I want to get your guys' final thoughts on the film. Like, if you were to sum it up and give it a 2-sentence, 3-sentence review, what would it be?
I got mine.
Go ahead, Jonsey. We'll start with you.
This is true crime murder.
True story.
That would be another lie.
Another lie.
Of a woman who's been put through too much.
Too much
And
pushed.
yet is still trying to aim for the level of perfection that misogyny has required of her.
Okay. What about you, Brynne?
I would say, good for a Friday night if you want to have some real weird fun.
Perfect. I think I would say this film, it's fun. It's one of my favorite Kathleen Turner films. And if you're a John Waters film, you're gonna like this film. It's fun. It's very, very campy. And just
so
go into it. Just get a drink or get high, and you're gonna love it. That's what I would say. So now we're gonna get back to what did you figure out? Name drop. How did you get from
Brynne
Kathleen Turner to Jack Nicholson?
Really easily.
How?
So, Kathleen Turner is in Romancing the Stone and The Jewel of the Nile.
Oh, both great
with
films.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, that's right. Danny DeVito's in it. Yes.
Danny DeVito is in Hoffa with Jack Nicholson.
Fuck, that's right. That was an easy one. Why didn't I think of?
Hey, guess what, guys? Never heard of any of these films.
We know.
Sounds good.
Okay, now it's time to give these films a grade. Do we have what we originally graded these films?
Yes.
What did you have, Jonsey, last week? What did we and Brynne give this?
So Tony gave this an A+.
Yes. Okay.
And Brynne gave this a solid A.
A solid A. I'm gonna stick with my A+. It still knocks off all the boxes for me. I still love the film. Watching it this time around, I think before this week, I hadn't watched it for probably a good year, maybe a little longer. Still love it. Still was like, yes, I'm into it. Yeah. What about you, Brynne?
I'm gonna stick with my A.
Yeah.
I think like on the chart of John Waters films, this wouldn't be the first one that I would jump to.
No.
But still very solidly in there. I watched it by myself. I was tickled. I didn't even have a drink.
And you
I was
were
knitting,
tickled.
and I thought this is fun.
This is one of his films that is like a good introduction to the John Waters. That it's like easy enough. It's not too outlandish, but it's ease people into the universe.
Sticking your toes in the pool.
Exactly. What about you, Jonsey? This is the first time you've ever seen it. So what is your grade on this film? And does this get a stamp in the Filmspringa passport for all of the other Filmspringa kids out there?
So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this needs to be revisited because I'm still processing that it's not real.
Well, you've had almost an hour.
Okay, but I've been busy with the show, so I haven't really
She's still processing
that this is not real.
So just like first impression, what would you grade it?
So first impression, I was giving this a solid B+.
Okay. And would you recommend it for other Filmspringa kids?
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, I would agree with this in maybe terms of John Waters. Maybe this isn't the one you would put in the passport for Filmspringa.
That's exactly why is I feel like if this was in the passport without Hairspray or
Crybaby film.
Polyester.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie.
Do you remember the collector's item came with the scratch and sniff that you did with the film? Yeah.
No.
So good. So go ahead.
But yeah, so I feel like I think other church kids would also be confused and also be like, yep, this is real.
Well, this film too started kind of the modern John Waters kind of films, right? Because it was Crybaby.
Yeah.
And then it was Serial Mom, Pecker, CCB,
Demented.
And then, Dirty Shame with, what's her name? I just lost Tracy Ullman. Sorry, Tracy Ullman. If you guys and Johnny Knoxville, do you remember that film?
So weird.
Brynne, it is so bizarre.
So weird.
But Dirty Rotten Shame was the last like film he did, and then he did the remake of Hairspray. But yeah. But I genuinely enjoy this film. I still do.
I think it's fun.
I enjoyed this film. I totally, especially because I thought it was real. I didn't know it was a comedy. It still made me laugh. I totally was buying into the story. Like, I'm not saying this is a bad film.
No.
I'm not saying I don't recommend it. I just don't think this needs to be in the passport because I think there's a lot of precursor things. And also, I think it would be confusing for other church kids like myself. That's not real.
I know, right? So, let's talk about our next film for next week.
Yes.
We are going to go like super classic and an award-winning film that I actually have not watched this film in a really long time. But I remember when I first watched it, I thought it was amazing. And it's like a piece of like just iconic cinematic genius. It's so good. It is 1974 Chinatown with Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. That is our next film. So, Jonsey, all you have is the name and the movie poster.
Wait, I need to pull up the movie poster.
Chinatown.
I have no idea. Hold on.
Chinatown.
Faye Dunaway.
While you pull it up.
Faye Dunaway.
Yeah, because we did Mommy Dearest was the first Faye Dunaway. So before
what's her name? There was this movie played a lot of movie clips. Wasn't Joan Collins in this movie?
Crawford. Not Joan Collins.
Joan Crawford was in Serial Mom because they played the one where she kills the couple
with the axe. It was one of her later sort of. They call them hagsploitation. It was after she did Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah.
And she was doing scary movies to sort of like keep her career going. Yes, that is a film from one of her movies.
Let's add it to the list.
So
I have no idea what that's about.
So for Chinatown, Brynne, what would you give the grade originally?
A.
An A? Yeah.
Let me write that shit down.
I think I would have to give it an A too, because it's from what I remember, because it's been a very long time since I've seen it. It was really good, and it's a different style film too than like your norm. It's the noir mystery type.
This is the worst cover for me to guess shit.
Oh, that's not the cover I pulled. I pulled the original one. The one that looks like a drawing, like a painting with the cigarettes and the. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think it's about, Lena?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna guess they're in New York because Chinatown, and I'm gonna say there's a lot of smoking.
Okay.
Okay.
And
what else? That's it. Smoking in Chinatown.
He's a gambler. She's a whore.
Wow.
They smoke. I don't know.
Okay, there you go.
A lot of smoking in New York is Lena's answer to what Chinatown's
That's her answer.
No, I also think he's a gambler and she's a whore.
Okay.
You got Serial Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's in the title.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm going to be very curious to see how Jonsey reacts.
We'll have to revisit
it. Is this the one that's very inflammatory where there's like...
I don't know. You're going to have to watch it, and we're going to have to revisit it next week.
And then the lady who's like, me suck you long time.
No, don't ask us that.
No. You're going to have to watch it, and then we're going to go where we will discuss it.
Is this that movie, though?
We can't tell you. You got to just watch it. So it'll be a very interesting episode next week.
We'll have to remember to revisit and remind Jonsey what she said.
Yes, exactly.
That they're all smoking and sucking me long time.
Yeah. All right. You can follow the podcast anywhere you get podcasts on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram. It is Filmspringa on Instagram. And you can email us at Filmspringa_Filmspringa podcast at Gmail. And you guys, that is it for this week. Next week, it'll be Chinatown. We're going to get into it. Everybody have a very safe New Year's. If it's already New Year's there, Happy New Year's. And we will see everybody next week. Bye.